Lineups are brought to you by USCA Orthopedic Specialists. Let's meet the starters for the University of North Georgia Nighthawks. A 5'7" senior guard from Watkinsville, Georgia, number 13, Ainsley Hall. A 5'7" freshman guard from Dahlonega, Georgia, number 20, Avery Jones. A 5'11" forward from Brentwood, Tennessee, wearing number 21, Emily Truschel. A 6'2" sophomore forward from Macon, Georgia, wearing number 23, Kendall Eminer. And a 5'7" graduate student guard from Cummings, Georgia, and the reigning Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week, number 24, Caroline Martin. The head coach of the Nighthawks is Buffy Brinson. The assistant coaches are Amber Skidgel, Julianne Sutter, and Cooper Turner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineup for your USCA Pacers. She's a 5'5" sophomore guard. She's from Floyd, Virginia. She wears number 0. Meet Destiny Harmon. A 6' junior forward from Beecher, Illinois, wearing number 4, Rhiannon Zeller. A 5'11" sophomore forward from Kettering, Ohio, wearing number 5, Serena Baker. A 5'4" sophomore guard from Raleigh, North Carolina, wearing number 12, Paris Webster. And a 6' freshman forward from Canton, Georgia, wearing number 22, Riley Simmons. The head coach of the Pacers is Mark Miller. The assistant coach, Brittany Guy.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Convocation Center on the campus of the University of South Carolina at Aiken for today's Peach Belt Conference matchup between the visiting North Georgia Nighthawks and your USC Aiken Pacers. I'm Reeves Altman saying thank you so much for tuning in, and we are literally just seconds away from first tip. Tip is away. It goes to the Pacers as Paris Webster tried to get a hand on it, and it'll go out of bounds. Nighthawk basketball. Number 21, Truschel, inbounds to number 13, Hall. Hall brings it on the right side, passing back to Truschel at the top. Looking down low for Martin. Martin driving on Harmon, takes a step back, driving into the basket. Now kicking out to Jones. Jones with it, passing back to Truschel at the top. Truschel looking around, played by Baker. Shot clock at 11 for the Nighthawks. Truschel gives to Martin. Martin drives in on Harmon, passing back out to Truschel at the top. Truschel drives in, takes a shot to the basket, and it's good for 2.
The basket by number 21, Emily Truschel.
Emily Truschel returning to the Convocation Center, formerly a player here at USC Aiken, now playing for the Nighthawks as Webster passes off to Harmon. Harmon with it on the left side, looking around, trying to get it inside. Now finds Zauer at the top. Zauer looking to get it inside. As a foul will be called on the floor. Number 22, Simmons has the ball. She'll pass it back to the refs. Number 21, Truschel picks up the foul. That's her first. Harmon, the inbounder now for the Pacers. Pacers coming into this game 6-20 on the year, 3-13 in Peach Belt Conference play. As Harmon takes the inbound from Simmons, her 3 no good, rebounded by Truschel. The Nighthawks come into today 24-2 and 14-2 in Peach Belt Conference play. As Caroline Martin takes it to the basket strong for 2, and the Nighthawks lead early 4-0. Paris Webster brings it across half court now for the Pacers. Webster looking to her left, now takes a step back. Passing over to Simmons. Simmons has it at the top. Trying to get it inside, now passes back to Webster at the top. Webster gets a screen from Zauer. Her shot off the screen, no good. Goes out of bounds off of Baker. Nighthawk basketball. Number 13, Hall now with the ball. Hall gets a screen from Eminer. Give to Truschel. Truschel at the top, passing back down to Eminer, who will pass out to Jones, whose 3 is good. And a quick timeout called by Coach Miller and the Pacers. 8 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the first period. We have a full timeout on the floor Nighthawks up early, 7-0. We'll take a 60-second break and bring you back for the remainder of the first period. Welcome back into the first full timeout of the game. 7-0. Nighthawks on top here of the Pacers at the Convocation Center. Pacers set to inbound after the timeout. Simmons will pass into Webster, and we are back under action. Webster brings it up, passes down low to Baker. Baker turns. Her shot from the block rattles around and falls for the Pacers' first point of the game. As the Nighthawks push the tempo quickly, Truschel with it at the top. Passing over to Martin. Martin, no hesitation, three short. It'll go out of bounds, back to the Pacers. Simmons passes to Webster, who gives to Zauer. Zauer finds Harmon coming off a screen. Harmon thought about a shot, now going to take a shot, and her jump shot good for two. Hall with it, passing to Truschel, now giving to Jones. Jones passes off to Hall again. Hall drives in on Webster, gets to the free throw line, picks up her dribble, passing back to Truschel. Truschel drives to the basket, turns, passes out to Jones, who will pass back to Truschel at the top, looking around. Truschel driving to her right, now takes a step back, passing back to Hall. Hall's three-pointer, good.
Three-point basket, number 13, Ansley Hall.
Hall's first points of the afternoon are good for three. Extends the Nighthawks lead to 10-4. Webster passes to Baker at the free throw line. Baker falls down. A fight for the basketball will be called a held basketball.
Held basketball belongs to the Pacers.
And it'll stay with the Pacers. Shot clock at 18, 7 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the first period. Number 22, Simmons, the inbounder now for the Pacers. Inbounds to Webster. Webster has it in the right corner. Passing to Harmon at the top, who will pass it around to Simmons. Simmons looking around. Trying to get it down low to Zauer, and it's going to be intercepted by Eminer. Eminer quickly getting it to Truschel. Truschel looking around, passing to Martin. Martin thought about a three, now drives it on Webster. Picks up her dribble at the free throw line. A pass almost deflected, but able to find Jones. Jones passes out to Hall, giving back to Martin. Three-pointer on the way, good. Webster now with it. Gives to Simmons. Simmons looking around, and it's going to be stolen by Hall. Hall on a 3-on-3 break gives to Martin, who passes to Truschel. Truschel with the cross-court pass, finding Martin again in the corner. Her shot no good. Fought for on the backside, and a push off the ball going to be called on Zauer. It'll be her first foul of the period. Substitutions coming in now for the Pacers. Number 2, Kendall Parker, and number 23, Sammy Bardinaro, subbing in for Simmons and Harmon. Martin now the inbounder for the Nighthawks. Looking around, will inbound to Hall. Hall dribbling up, gets a screen from Eminer, now drives the other way. Double teamed by Webster and Zauer. Fighting through traffic, finds Truschel, who steps back for a three, and it's good. Nighthawks extend their lead now 16-4. Webster with it, passes over to Baker. Baker gets a screen from Zauer, takes it herself to the basket for two.
Basket by number 5, Serena Baker.
Nighthawks pushing the tempo here. Jones with it. Passing back to Truschel, who's trailing, and Truschel will be called for a travel. Pacer basketball.
Checking the line for Pacers, number 13, Jay Nelson.
And number 13, Jaya Nelson checks in for the Pacers for Serena Baker. Substitutions coming in for the Nighthawks. Number 44, Ava McLaughlin, and number 11, Jaleisha Storr. Pacer basketball now, 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Webster with it at the top, passing to Bardonaro. Bardonaro passes back to Webster. Webster calls for a screen but picks up her dribble, still looking around. Now finding Zauer in the corner. Zauer played by McLaughlin. Giving back to Webster. Webster picks up her dribble at the free throw line, passes to Bardonaro. Bardonaro getting it down low to Zauer. Zauer turns, faces the basket, fades away. Her shot good for two. Hall with it for the Nighthawks now, passing to Jones. Jones with it on the corner, driving on Parker. Ball in the hands of Martin at the top. Gets a screen from Hall. Picks up her dribble, passing to Hall now, played by Bardonaro. Hall drives into the paint, picks up her dribble, trying to get it down low to McLaughlin. Her shot from the block, good. Great off the ball movement by number 44, McLaughlin, to get open just out of the reach of Zauer to get a jump shot in for two. Webster gives to Nelson, passing off to Parker. Parker with it. Takes a three, in and out. Ball fought for down low and hauled in by Webster for the Pacers. Webster slows the tempo down now. Shot clock resets to 15. Nelson with it at the top, finding Bardonaro down low on the block. Her shot good for two. As Sammy Bardonaro sneaks behind the defense to the backside block and is able to go up strong. Pacers trying to cut into the lead now, 18-10. As the Nighthawks pass deflected off of Jones. I believe it actually went off of the official out of bounds, and it'll be Pacer basketball. Emily Truschel checks back into the Nighthawks lineup on the floor now for the Pacers. Number 20, Gracie Hufford, and number 0, Destiny Harmon. It was originally thought a timeout was called, but that is not the case. Pacer basketball now, 4 minutes remaining in the first period. Number 2, Parker with it at the top. As Harmon checks in for Webster. Sammy Bardonaro with it. She takes a step back three. Her shot no good. Rebounded by Truschel. Truschel looking around, giving to Storr. Number 24, Martin, lost her footing. She appears to be okay as a foul will be called on the deflection. The foul will be called against Bardonaro for the Pacers. Number 20, Avery Jones, back on the floor for the Nighthawks. She'll sub in for Caroline Martin, number 24. As Jones set to be the inbounder now. Looking around, inbounds to Hall. Hall with it at the top. A lot of off-the-ball movement here for the Nighthawks. As McLaughlin sets a screen, she drives the other way as a foul is called off the ball. Number 13, Jaya Nelson will pick up the foul. That's her first of the period. The team's third in the quarter. Nighthawks will inbound on the baseline. Hall, the inbounder. Hall looking around. She inbounds to Truschel, who has a shot on the block. No good. Rebounded by Destiny Harmon for the Pacers. Pacers pushing tempo now. Bardonaro with it. Passes up to Parker. Parker looking around now. Finds Hubbard, who gives to Bardonaro. Bardonaro driving to her right. Now passes back to Parker. Parker with it at the top. Gets a screen from Hufford. And it's going to be called a moving screen, I believe. No word from the official yet, as we'll get the call. As no, it's going to be a push on Truschel. That's her second here in the period. It's number 24, Martin, will sub in for Truschel. Shot clock at 23 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Pacers inbounding the basketball. Parker inbounds to Nelson. Nelson just able to get a hand on that pass. Nelson passes to Parker now at the top, who will find Bardonaro. Bardonaro gets a screen from Nelson, passing back to Nelson on the pick and roll. Shot clock at 8 for the Pacers. Nelson with it at the top, trying to get it inside. Now passing over to Harmon. Harmon's three-pointer on the way, no good. Ball fought for on the baseline I believe it's going to be off of Bardonaro as number 13, Hall, was able to hang in the air and deflect the pass. So Nighthawk basketball here. Ball in the hands of Hall. Hall passes to Storr. Storr looking around, gets it down low to Martin. Martin drives to the block on Harmon, count the basket and one. Strong move to the basket from Martin will send her to the free throw line to attempt the three-point play. This season from the line, Martin shooting 78% from the free throw line. It's her free throw on the way, no good. Rebounded down low, fought for and pulled by Hufford for the Pacers. Parker drives on Martin. Spins, fights into the lane, passes out to Hufford. Hufford's jump shot on the way, good for two. Hall with it, gives to Martin, who will pass over to Jones. Jones driving on Bardonaro. A great pass in between the defense to find number 44, McLaughlin on the backside, block for two. Parker gets a screen from Hufford, drives to the free throw line, passing to Bardonaro, gives off to Harmon. Harmon gets a screen from Hufford, drives the other way, now comes back on the screen, almost loses her dribble, finding Bardonaro in the corner as Bardonaro steps out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Nighthawks. For the Pacers, back on the floor, number 5, Serena Baker, and number 12, Paris Webster. And on the floor for the Nighthawks, number 5, Carly Fahey. Fahey takes the inbounds pass and will bring it across half court. 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining. Jones with it in the corner, passing off to Storr. Storr played by Baker, passing out to Fahey. Fahey with it to the free throw line, passes back to Martin. Martin looking around, now drives on Webster, gets to the free throw line, stops, her shot on the way, no good. Is able to follow her own rebound. Her second shot no good and rebounded by Baker. Baker quickly gives to Webster. Webster driving right, drives to the paint herself. Her shot no good, too strong, rebounded by McLaughlin. McLaughlin passes to Martin. Martin looking around, passing back to Storr. Her three-pointer on the way, good for three.
We have less than a minute to go in the quarter.
Baker gives to Hufford. Her shot just a little bit too strong, no good. Rebounded down low by Storr for the Nighthawks. 32 seconds remaining, shot clock at 25. Martin with it on the right side, now passing to Fahey. Fahey gives back to Storr in the corner. Storr looking around, loses her dribble briefly, has to pick it up, still looking around, and passes to Fahey. Fahey with it at the top, passing back to Storr, who will pass over to Jones. Jones driving in on Bardonaro. Bardonaro loses her footing. McLaughlin there for the rebound. Her shot no good, but she is fouled and will go to the line for two free throws. That'll be Bardonaro's second as Riley Simmons checks in for Bardonaro. Number 44, Ava McLaughlin at the line now for the Nighthawks. She's shooting just under 50% on the year. As her first free throw is good. Second on the way, bounces off the back of the rim, no good. Originally fought for by Baker and Hufford. Webster with it, getting across half court with 3 seconds. Webster going to take it to the basket herself, and the shot is good as time expires. Paris Webster able to take her momentum to the basket for 2 points to end the quarter. After one period, North Georgia on top of USC Aiken, 26-14. We'll take a quick break and bring you back for the start of the second period right after this intermission. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the start of the second period here from the Convocation Center. North Georgia on top of USCA 26-14, and the Nighthawks will start the second period with the ball. Storr passing to Fahey. Fahey passes into Eminer, who will pass back out to Jones. Jones' three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebounded by Webster. Webster with it, finding Simmons. Simmons thought about a three, now drives in, picks up her dribble, finding Zauer. Zauer passes back out to Webster. Webster trying to get it inside to Baker, but the pass hitting there, finding Zauer at the top. Now getting it down low to Baker. Her shot good for two from the block. Number 5, Fahey passes to Storr, giving back to Jones. Jones passes to Fahey, who will pass off to number 15, Livy Blackstock. Blackstock gives to Storr. Storr driving in, passes with Jones. Jones cutting to the basket. Her shot from the block, no good. Rebounded by Zauer for the Pacers. Zauer gives to Webster. So Webster passes back to Zauer, who will find Simmons. Simmons finding Harmon at the top. Harmon thought about a three, takes a step in, finding Webster in the corner. Her three-pointer on the way, good. Storr now with it at the top, passing over to Fahey. Fahey driving in on Webster. Across the court pass to Blackstock in the corner, who will pass to Jones, giving back to Storr. Storr, played by Baker, drives to the free throw line. Passing back to Blackstock, give to Storr, now in the left corner. Storr driving in on Baker, picks up her dribble. Offensive foul will be called, Pacer basketball. Number 11, Storr will be called for the foul. Number 13 and number 24 for the Nighthawks back on the floor. That is Ansley Hall and Caroline Martin. As we have a full timeout on the floor, we will take a quick break. 8 minutes and 24 seconds remaining until halftime. North Georgia leads USC Aiken 26-19. We'll step aside for 60 seconds and bring you back for the remainder of the second period. Welcome back after the full timeout. 8 minutes and 24 seconds remaining until halftime. 26-19, North Georgia on top. It's Paris Webster in possession of it for the Pacers. Webster trying to get it down low to Baker. Baker lost her footing, was able to hold on to possession and give it back to Webster. Webster's jump shot no good, rebounded by Baker down low. A lot of contact, but no call, and it'll stay with USC Aiken. Harmon now the inbounder for the Pacers. The ball is briefly dropped by the official. As we return to action, Harmon still the inbounder, passing into Baker, passing back to Webster at the top. Now giving to Simmons, back to Webster. Webster gets it down low to Zauer. Zauer turns the basket, turns right into a double team. It'll be a held basketball with Hall, and it'll belong to the might be some confusion on the possession arrow. As it appears the ball will stay with the Pacers here as shot clock resets after the held basketball. Number 22, Simmons, going to be the inbounder for the Pacers. As the held basketball confusion is figured out, and we'll return to action. Simmons will inbound to Webster. Webster finds Zauer on the baseline. Zauer turns to the paint, fades away. Her shot too strong, no good. Rebounded on the backside by Fahey for the Nighthawks. Fahey passes up to Martin. Martin gives back to Fahey, now in the hands of Jones. Jones with it, dribbling to her right, looking around, gets a screen from Fahey, driving in, passing out to number 13. Her shot no good. It'll be rebounded by Zauer on the backside block. That was Hall for the three. Webster trying to get it inside to Baker, but Hall was able to get a hand on it and deflect it out of bounds. Substitution coming in for the Pacers now. Number 13, Jaya Nelson will sub in for Baker. Harmon now the inbounder for the Pacers, finding Zauer. We'll give back to Harmon, finding Nelson now in the corner. Getting it down low to Zauer. Zauer backing into a double team, almost stolen by Martin, and as a foul will be called on the floor. Number 24, Martin, will be picking up the foul. That's her first. Harmon, the inbounder, once again for the Pacers. Shot clock now at 20 as she inbounds to Simmons. Simmons gives it to Webster at the top. Passing to Nelson. Nelson looking around. Gives to Zauer at the free throw line. Zauer turns, faces the basket, drives into the paint, turns around. Her shot on the way, just a little bit short, no good. It'll be rebounded in the paint by number 23, Eminer. Fahey now with it, gives to Hall. Hall drives in on Simmons. Reverses position, ball deflected out of her hands, and a foul will be called on Simmons.
The foul is on the Pacers number 22, Riley Simmons. That's her first. The team's first this quarter.
Hall now the inbounder for the Nighthawks. Hall looking around. Ball barely getting brought in. Deflected off of Jones, but able to retain it are the Nighthawks. Now in the hands of Martin. Martin has a step on. Harmon driving in. Shot no good. Rebound out of bounds, and it'll go to the Pacers. Webster passes. Simmons will take a step back. Her three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebounded in the paint by number 24, Martin. Martin going to take it herself up the court. Played by Nelson. Takes a step back, passing over to Jones. Jones now gets a screen from Martin. Passes to Fahey. Fahey has a step from the block. Passes inside. Wide open in the paint is Eminer for two. Simmons at the top now. Passing to Webster. Webster gets a screen from Zauer. Takes a step back, still looking around. Gets another screen from Zauer. Takes it herself the other way. Tries to get a shot from the block. No good. It'll be off of Hall on the deflection. It'll stay with the Pacers. Number 2, Kendall Parker checks in for Destiny Harmon. There's some debris on the floor as we return to action, taken care of by the officials. Nelson, the inbounder for the Pacers, looking around, finds Zauer on the block. Zauer fades away. Her shot good for two. 28-21 now your score. The Nighthawks are moving the ball around on offense. Jones with it in the corner. Passes to Hall. Hall driving into the paint. She's going to take it herself. Shot no good. Blocked by Zauer. Zauer quickly gives to Webster. Pacers with numbers. Trying to get it up to the court to Parker as she's unable to hold on to the pass, and it's going to be intercepted by the Nighthawks, and now they're bringing it back up the floor. Fahey taking it herself on Nelson. Her shot no good. There for the backside block is Eminer for two, and a timeout is called on the floor by the Pacers. A 30-second timeout on the floor. 5 minutes and 9 seconds remaining until halftime. 30-21 your score. The Nighthawks on top. We'll take a quick break and bring you back in less than 30 seconds now for the remainder of the period. Welcome back after the 30-second timeout. Substitutions on the floor for the Nighthawks. On the floor now, number 11, Julia Storr, and number 44, Ava McGlockton, return to the court. Pacers now with the ball, 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining until halftime. Webster passes to Simmons. Simmons thought about a three, will give back to Webster. Webster thought about a three, takes a screen from Zauer. Step in from the three-point line. Her shot no good. The long rebound pulled in by Nelson for the Pacers. Webster still looking around, now finding Simmons at the free throw line as Simmons is stripped and stolen by Hall. Hall on Webster, a one-on-one break. She'll take it to the basket herself, no good. Rebounded by Simmons for the Pacers. Parker gives to Simmons, who will find Zauer. Zauer, ball deflected out of her hands. She's going to take a jump shot herself. Rebounded by McGlockton. Hall passes to Martin. Martin thought about a three, now drives in on Nelson. A beautiful pass to the backside block for a wide open McGlockton for two from Martin. Parker, no hesitation, three-pointer on the way. Her shot no good and rebounded by McGlockton for the Nighthawks. She quickly gives to Fahey, who will bring it across half court. Three players waiting to check in now for the Pacers. Fahey driving on Webster, passing back out to Hall. Hall gives to Martin at the top. No hesitation, three, good.
Three-point basket to number 24, Caroline Martin.
Webster finds Nelson as we have an offensive foul called off the ball to go back to the Nighthawks.
Foul is on number 22 of the Pacers, Riley Simmons. That's her second. It's the team's second. Coming out of the court for the Pacers is number 0, Destiny Harmon. Number 5, Serena.
Destiny Harmon, number 0, number 5, Serena Baker, and number 23, Sammy Bardonaro check into the Pacer lineup now. 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining until halftime. 35-21 is your score. Hall drives in on Parker, finding McGlockton on the backside block once again, and she's able to put it in for two.
Basket by number 44, Ava McGlockton.
Harmon trying to take a handoff is going to be stripped by Hall. Hall has a wide open lane to the basket for two.
Bucket to number 13, Ainsley Hall.
Nighthawks back in full control of this game after a quick run here on the Pacers. Parker with it, getting a screen from Zauer. The pass is deflected. Parker might have been hit in the face there as she's favoring her right eye as Martin has a wide open lane to the basket for two. 41-21 now your score. Parker drives in, her shot no good, rebounded down low by McGlockton. Across the court pass up to Fahey. She drives in on Baker. Her shot no good, blocked by Baker. Baker's able to hold on to the ball, now in the hands of Parker for the Pacers. Parker gives to Baker, gets a screen from Zauer, drives into the free throw line. Her shot blocked by McGlockton, rebounded by Fahey down low. Nighthawks looking to slow the tempo here as number 13, Hall, calling off. Nighthawks move into a four corners offense here, it appears. 1 minute and 45 seconds till halftime. Nighthawks lead 41-21. McGlockton sets a screen on Bardonaro. Hall drives in, takes a step back. Still looking around, now finding Martin. Martin, no hesitation, three on the way, no good. Rebounded by Zauer down low for the Pacers. Parker with it, giving to Zauer. Zauer at the top, looking around, finds Harmon. Harmon passes to Bardonaro. Bardonaro's shot from the paint, no good. Rebounded by Zauer. Zauer trying to get out as she is thrown to the ground by McGlockton. Everyone appears to be okay as a foul will be called. And substitutions coming in for both teams. Number 20, Avery Jones, and number 15, Livy Blackstock back on the floor for the Nighthawks and for the Pacers. Number 20, Gracie Hufford. And Baker back down the floor for the Pacers. Shot no good from Webster. Rebounded by Hall. Back in the hands of the Nighthawks as Jones gives back to Hall. Now in the hands of Blackstock. Blackstock picks up her dribble, trying to get it into the paint. The long pass is pulled in by Jones. Now in the hands of Storr. She passes to Jones. Jones' three, good. Webster tries to give to Bardonaro. A little bit of miscommunication for the Pacers as Bardonaro went the wrong way of the pass, and another turnover. Ball in the hands of the Nighthawks. 36.5 seconds remaining until halftime. Shot clock at 30 and counting. Hall with it at the top, and no hurry to get a shot off here. Have 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Webster right on her defensively, gets a screen from McLaughlin, now passing over to Blackstock, getting it down low to McLaughlin. Her shot from the paint, good for two, as Bardonaro inbounded with 7 seconds left in the hands of Webster. Webster looking around, gets to the top, drives in, picks up her dribble, passing out to Hufford. Hufford driving, turning, and she will not get a shot off, and that is how the second period will end. After two, your score, North Georgia 46, USC Aiken 21. We're going to take a 15-minute break and bring you back for the remainder of the game and the start of the third period right here from the Convocation Center. showed up 4 minutes before tip-off, so I got one.
Hey, keep the form, keep the form.
How was this weekend?
You're doing really good. That's time! Alright, so contestants, come back to the middle.
What's up?
Alright, they look confident. Smiles are there.
Baseball looked
Okay, so from
Oh, they did?
we're gonna start with the
Their first road
side.
game?
How many
Their first
free
road
throws
game?
did she make? 3. Is that correct? Did she make 3? Alright. How many free throws did the Chanel Nelson make?
3 as well.
What? It's a tie. Alright, we're gonna keep it as a tie for now. We gotta keep moving on for the story. Thank you. Alright, next up is none other than our fraternity competition. We have from the IFC representative, Shelton Sheely from Campus
I got busy at work and was like, oh, I work at a theater in Augusta.
Oh, y'all got good stuff?
Oh yeah,
Like what?
we're home to the Augusta Symphony. Yep, we do a lot of comedians, a lot of.
Do you really?
Oh yeah,
What's it called?
the Miller Theater.
Oh, I live close to Charleston. I go to all the theaters. I love it.
You ever go to the Gilliard?
Yes.
So the guy that used to be the operations manager here, that I interned under in college when I was a student here, he worked at the Miller. I worked under him, and when he left for the Gilliard, I was hired on to replace him. Small world. What part of Charleston do you live in?
I live in Moncks Corner.
Oh, okay.
How's that from?
When I was in high school, we always played St. John's Christian Academy. Are they still there?
I went to Lord Berkeley Academy. Went
Really?
to St. John's Christian.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Patrick Henry.
Did you really?
I did.
Belinda.
Belinda McCoy? Oh yeah. I am very familiar with her. She coached us in varsity basketball 3 of my 4 years.
She's a good lady.
She is.
Good lady. Yes, I went to Lord Berkeley Academy, and then I came back for a while was the AD and coach girls and boys basketball at St. John's.
Really?
And my mama taught there 30 years.
Wow. It is. Huh? No.
Hey, so we go to all the Broadway stuff at North Charleston Coliseum. We have Broadway tickets.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're gonna have some great ones.
I saw Wicked there a couple of years ago. That was really good.
We had Tina. We got Beetlejuice in 2 weeks.
Really?
And I can't wait to see how they're gonna do that.
That'd be good. That'd be real good.
We had the Temptations this year. We had Tina. What else did we have? Pretty Woman. Love it. And my mama goes to all the symphony stuff. They do it like once every 3 months.
Yeah.
She loves it.
Oh yeah.
Charleston Symphony. Well, we need to come see you.
You should look us up.
Welcome back to the start of the third period here from the Convocation Center between North Georgia and USC Aiken. North Georgia currently on top 46-21, and they will start the third period with the basketball. Number 20, Jones, drives in quickly on the basket, now passing out to Martin. Thought about a 3, drives on Harmon, has a step shot on the basket, good for 2.
Basket by number 24, Caroline Martin.
Now Webster passes off to Simmons. Simmons looking around. Doesn't have an outlet pass, now gives to Zauer. Zauer finds Baker down low, good for 2.
Basket by number 5, Sabrina Baker.
Number 20, Jones drives in, trying to get it outside to Truschel. Unable to retain the pass, and the ball will go out of bounds. Pacer basketball now. Paris Webster with it, passing over to Harmon. Harmon looking around, trying to get it inside to Baker. Can't get a pass off, now passing to Webster. Webster takes a screen from Zauer, gets to the free throw line. Her jump shot, good for 2.
By number 12, Paris Webster.
Martin, no hesitation, 3 shot, no good. Rebounded down low by Webster. Ball briefly taken out of her hands, but quickly gets it up the floor to Harmon. Harmon has to pick up her dribble off a pass, now gives to Webster. Webster drives in, finds Zauer on the block. Her shot rattles around, no good. Then rebounded down low by Eminer for the Nighthawks. Now Martin with it, driving in, shot no good, and it'll go out of bounds. Ball will go to the Pacers. Substitution coming in now for USC Aiken. Number 23, Sammy Bardonaro subs in for number 0, Harmon. And number 2, Kendall Parker back on the floor for Webster. Bardonaro with it on the left side. Passing to Zauer at the top. Now passing to Parker. Parker gets it down low to Baker. Baker shot from the block. Good for 2. 6 quick points here to start the third period for the Pacers. As the Nighthawks quickly move the ball up the floor. Shot from Jones, no good. Hall right there formed on the backside block for the putback. The timeout will be called by Coach Miller for the Pacers. It's a full timeout. 7 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the third period. North Georgia on top, 50 to 27. We will take a quick break and bring you back for the remainder of the third period. Welcome back. Following the timeout from the Pacers, they are able to advance the ball up the floor. They'll be inbounding right in front of their bench. Number 22, Riley Simmons, the inbounder now for the Pacers. She finds Baker on the inbound and will give to Parker. Parker finding Simmons, trying to get it down low to Baker, and a foul will be called on the floor. No signal yet of who it's on.
Foul is on number 24, Caroline Martin.
Caroline Martin will pick up the foul, number 24 for the Nighthawks. That's her second. Bardonaro with it, finds Simmons in the corner. Tight defense here by the Nighthawks. Bardonaro with it back at the top, gets a screen from Baker. Baker now has it at the top, finding Zauer in the paint. Zauer turns, faces the basket. Ball briefly deflected. Zauer able to get over the defense. Shot no good and rebounded by number 23, Eminer. Truschel now. Haven't seen a lot of Truschel here tonight in early foul trouble. Back on the floor to start the third period, passing to Martin. Martin drives in on Bardonaro, passing back out to Truschel, who will give to Hall. Hall on the right side. Drives right, now comes back driving left, pass, trying to get the ball inside, and it's going to be stolen away by the Pacers. Number 22, Simmons, gives to Parker, a full court pass up to Baker, just out of reach, and it'll go back to the Nighthawks. Martin passes to Hall in the corner, now gives off to Jones, coming off a screen. Jones finds Truschel on the paint, in the paint. Truschel drives in, her shot no good, rebounded by Baker for the Pacers. Parker passes up to Bardonaro. Bardonaro gives it down low to Zauer. Zauer faces the basket, turns, faces again, shot from the block, good for 2. Nighthawks quickly moving it up the floor. Truschel with it at the top. Calling for a screen, now passes off to Jones. Jones drives in on Simmons, turns, gets to the block, passes back out to Martin. Martin, no hesitation, 3 on the way, no good, and rebounded by Parker. Parker looking up, briefly losing her dribble, able to retain it, now passing to the top to Baker. Baker passing over to Bardonaro. Bardonaro gets it down low to Zauer. Zauer driving in on Eminer, still driving, turns, her shot on the way, no good, and rebounded by Jones on the block. Jones passing to Truschel, now giving over to Martin. Martin has a step on Bardonaro, takes it herself to the basket, shot blocked, but a foul will be called on Zauer. Substitutions coming in for both teams. First for the Nighthawks, number 44, Ava McLaughlin. And for the Pacers, number 0, Destiny Harmon. And number 20, Gracie Hufford, checking in for Baker and Zauer. Number 24, Martin at the line now for the Nighthawks. As her first free throw is no good. As her second is good, a 1-for-2 trip at the line for Martin. And subbing in for the Nighthawks, is number 5, Carly Fahey, and subbing in for number 20, Jones. 5 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the third period, 51-29 your score. Harmon gives to Parker, passing back to Harmon at the top, looking around, dribbling left, hands off to Simmons. Simmons picks up her dribble, deflected there by Hall, passing still in the hands of Simmons, now over to Parker. Parker gets a screen from Huffer, takes a step back three. Her shot no good and rebounded by Truschel. Truschel brings it herself up the court, now passing off to Hall. Hall dribbling to her left, passing back to Martin at the top. Martin gives to Truschel, who cuts to the basket. Beautiful execution from the Nighthawks, and McLaughlin wide open on the backside, block for two. Now Parker passing to Bardonaro, gets to Hufford. Hufford driving on McLaughlin, now passing out to Parker. Parker's three, no good, and rebounded by Martin for the Nighthawks. Martin looking around, drives on Bardonaro, gets to the free throw line, passes back out to Hall. Hall has a step on Harmon, wide open again. McLaughlin underneath for two. McLaughlin up to 15 points on the night. She ties Martin for his leading scorers for the Nighthawks. Harmon with it, her three-pointer on the way, good for the Pacers. Truschel at the top, passes to Martin. Martin drives on Harmon, picks up her dribble, passing back out to Fahey. Her shot no good and rebounded by Simmons for the Pacers. Now Parker passing to Harmon. Harmon thought about a three, passing back out to Parker. Parker looking around, trying to get it inside to Hufford. Still with it at the top. Shot clock at 19 for the Pacers. A foul will be called on the floor.
Foul is on number 44 at the bottom, and that's her second. It's the team's second.
Ava McLaughlin going to pick up the foul. Number 44 as a timeout is called on the floor. 3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the third period. 55-32 your score. North Georgia on top. We're going to take a quick break. Bring you back in 60 seconds. Welcome back to the Convocation Center after the timeout. 3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the third period. North Georgia on top of USC Aiken, 55-32. Pacers will have it on the baseline. Destiny Harmon, number 0, the inbounder now for the Pacers as she finds Baker. Baker passes to Webster, now giving to Bardonaro. Thought about a three, but tight defense from Fahey for the Nighthawks. Baker with it in the paint. She's going to try and take it herself to the basket. Shot no good, but a foul will be called, sending Baker to the line for two.
Foul was on number 11 of the Nighthawks, Julia Storr. That's her second.
Number 11, Storr, will pick up the foul. That's her second. Serena Baker now at the line for the Pacers, shooting 67% on the year. As her first free throw is good. Her second on the way, no good. Briefly fought for, but pulled in by Jones for the Nighthawks. Jones passes up to Truschel. Ball. It's going to be a held basketball between Harmon and Storr, and it'll belong to the Pacers. Harmon with it on the right side now. Takes a step back now, passing back to Webster. Webster gives to Hufford. Hufford thought about a shot, drives in, picks up her dribble. McLaughlin right on her defensively. Hufford sets a screen for Harmon, who gets to the free throw line, passing back out to Baker. Baker's three-pointer on the way, no good. And it'll be a shot clock violation, ball back to the Nighthawks. Now Fahey with it, gives to Truschel, right back to Fahey. Fahey drives in on Webster, finds McLaughlin at the free throw line, passing over to Jones. Jones takes a step back, now finds Truschel in the corner. Truschel looking for a pass, now takes a three. Her shot no good and rebounded. Fought for on the backside and will stay with North Georgia. Kendall Parker back on the floor now for the Pacers, stepping in for Webster. Jones gives to Truschel, trying to get it down low to McLaughlin, just out of reach, out of bounds, back to the Pacers. Hufford takes a shot off the pass from Harmon, no good, and rebounded by Jones for the Nighthawks. Jones trying to get it to Storr, almost intercepted by Harmon. Storr's three, no good. Rebound out of bounds will go to the Pacers. Parker now with it at the top. Calling for a screen from Baker, now passes off to Baker. Baker gives to Hufford. Hufford takes a shot. Off the pass, no good. Rebound pulled by Truschel for the Nighthawks. Truschel passing up to Storr. Storr with it in the corner, now passes to Jones. Jones looking around, passes to Fahey. Fahey takes a step back, still looking around. Trying to get it inside to Truschel, but it's going to be deflected by Baker, stolen by the Pacers. Harmon gives to Bardonaro. Bardonaro steps back. Her three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebounded by Baker on the block. She goes up. Her shot no good, but will draw contact and go to the line for two. Ava McLaughlin going to be called for the foul. That's her third. Subbing in for the Nighthawks now, number 23, Kendall Eminer, and number 24, Caroline Martin back on the court. Also number 13, Ansley Hall on the floor, subbing in for Storr, McLaughlin, and Fahey. Serena Baker at the free throw line now for the Pacers. Her first shot no good. Baker's second shot no good. 0 for 2 at the line there for the Pacers. Ball now in the hands of Truschel as she brings it across half court. Gives to Hall at the top. Gets a screen from Eminer. Passing back to Truschel, who will find Eminer down low. She drives on Hufford, turns, faces, passing out to Truschel. Truschel thought about a three. Baker loses her bounce. Truschel's three, good. Bardonaro passes to Hufford. Hufford gives back to Harmon. Harmon looking around, now finds Baker. Baker thought about a three. Passes to Hufford. Hufford's jump shot from the side, no good. Rebounded by Truschel down low, who will quickly pass up to Hall. Hall gives back to Truschel, who gives to Jones. Jones looking around, finds Truschel in the corner, driving in on Baker. Turns her back. A little bit of miscommunication, but is able to be hauled in by Eminer, who gives to Martin at the top. 12 seconds left on the shot clock, 22 seconds left on the game clock. Hall drives on Harmon, passes to Truschel at the top, getting it down low to Eminer. Eminer turns, her shot on the way, rattles around, and will fall for two. Shot clock at game clock at 9 for the Pacers. Shot clock is off. Parker brings it across half court, gets a screen from Hufford, steps back, her three-pointer on the way, good for three. As time expires, that'll be the last shot of the quarter. After three, your score, North Georgia 60, USC Aiken 36. We will take a quick break and bring you back for the start of the fourth period right here from the Convocation Center. Welcome back to the start of the fourth period here. Number 21, Trucial, set to inbound for the Nighthawks, and we are underway. Eminer with it now at the free throw line, looking around. Has nowhere, now passes off to Hall. Hall drives in on Zauer, finds Eminer on the backside block, perfect for two. The Nighthawks have great execution in the paint on the 2 versus 1 man game. Has given the Pacers trouble all night. Now Bardonaro with it. Gets a screen from Nelson. Finds Zauer down low. Zauer with it on the baseline. Dribbles up, picks up a dribble, now passes back to Bardonaro. Bardonaro gets a screen from Zauer, driving in. And a travel will be called. Nighthawk basketball. Hall gives to Trucial at the top, finds Eminer at the free throw line. Eminer turns to face the basket, still looking around, finding Hall again. Hall passes down low to Trucial, but the pass goes through her hands, taken away by the Pacers in the hands of Zauer. Now gives to Parker. Parker gives to Zauer again, looking for Nelson. Nelson thought about a three. Now dribbles around, passing to Bardonaro. Bardonaro passing back to Nelson on the left side. Nelson's three-pointer on the way, no good. Will be rebounded by Trucial. Trucial passes to Jones at the top. Jones gets a screen from Martin, dribbling to her right, passes back to Martin. Martin thought about a three, drives on Simmons now to the free throw line, picks up her dribble, finds Trucial, cutting to the basket, turns, spins, shot on the way, good for two. Parker dribbles to her right, passes to Nelson. Nelson gets a screen from Zauer, tries to get inside, pass isn't there, finds Bardonaro. Now gives to Simmons. Simmons will pass to Zauer. Zauer looking around, passing back to Bardonaro. Gets a screen from Zauer. Her shot from the free throw line, good for two. Martin drives on Bardonaro, gets to the paint. Her shot, good for two. A legal screen will be called against the Pacers on Zauer. Substitutions coming in for both sides. First for the Nighthawks, number 5, Carly Fahey returns to the court. And subbing in for number 24, Martin. Also number 11, Jalea Storr, back on the floor for number 13, Hall. Back on the floor now for the Pacers, number 5, Serena Baker, number 12, Paris Webster. Storr with it on the right side. Give to Fahey. Passing back to the top to Jones. Jones gets a screen from Trucial. Drives the other way. Trucial wide open at the top. Her three-pointer, good. Webster now with it. Gives to Baker at the top. Baker looking around. Not a lot of movement from the Pacers as now Webster with it. Baker gives to Zauer. Zauer's jump shot on the way, no good, and rebounded by Trucial. Trucial quickly gets it up to Jones. Jones drives on Zauer, gives to Trucial. Trucial thought about a three. Going to try and take it herself. A last-minute pass intercepted by the Pacers and Bardonaro. Bardonaro passing to Baker. Baker's jump shot from the baseline, good for two. Nighthawks pushing tempo here as Jones' shot no good. Briefly fought for in the paint, but pulled by Zauer for the Pacers. Ball now with Webster. Webster driving in, going to take it herself. A wide open lane to the basket for two. A timeout called by the Nighthawks. A full media timeout. 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the fourth period. 69-42 your score. We'll take a quick break and bring you back for the remainder of the fourth period in just a moment. Welcome back as we return to action. Truschel inbounds to Fahey. We'll pass over to Storr. Storr looking around now, gives to Jones at the top, played by Harmon. Now Jones takes a step back. Looks like the Nighthawks are going to burn as much clock as they can on these possessions to end the game out. Jones now drives on Harmon, still looking around, passes to Truschel at the top, getting it down low to McLaughlin. She turns, fires, her shot good, and the bank is open. Bardenaro with it, thought about a three, picks up her dribble now, looking around. Truschel right on her defensively, now gives to Zauer in the corner. Zauer looking around, now passing back to Bardenaro. Gets a screen from Zauer on the left side. Bardenaro's three, no good, and rebounded by Jones for the Nighthawks. Truschel passing to Jones. Now passing to Fahey at the top. Fahey gets a screen from Storr, takes it herself to the basket, shot no good. Rebound deflected by Zauer and pulled by Bardenaro. Ball now in the hands of Webster. Webster drives in, finds Zauer on the backside, block, shot no good, but a foul is called and go to the line for two.
Foul is on number 11 of the Nighthawks, Julia Storr. That's her third.
Julia Storr, number 11, picks up the foul. That's her third, sending Rianne Zauer to the free throw line for the Pacers. This season from the line, Zauer shooting 64%. Her first shot is good. Zauer's second free throw good. Subbing in for the Pacers now, number 1, Mackenzie Lott on the floor. Truschel at the top, gives to Fahey. Fahey a long pass up to Storr. Storr now looking around, gives to Jones, back in the hands of Truschel in the corner. Truschel calling for an outlet pass. Now finds Fahey. Fahey passing back to Truschel on the left side. Truschel gets a screen from Jones, drives the other way on Baker, gets to the block, picks up her dribble, passing back out to Storr. Storr drives on Webster, takes it to the basket for two. Webster now with it at the top, finding Bardenaro. Bardenaro gets it down low to Zauer. Zauer turns on McLaughlin. Her shot no good, but a foul is called, sending her to the line for two.
Foul is on number 44, McLaughlin. That's her fourth, the team's second. Second in the game for the Pacers is number 2, Kendall Parker. And at the line shooting 2 is number 4, Rianne Zauer.
Number 2, Kendall Parker back on the floor for the Pacers, subbing in for Webster. Sending Zauer back to the free throw line. So her first shot is good. Zauer's second, no good, rebounded by Storr. Truschel passes to Jones. Jones loses her dribble off her foot. She's able to pick it up, finding Fahey. Fahey gets a screen from McLaughlin. Drives to the baseline, passing back out to Storr. Storr's three-pointer on the way. Good. Now Bardenaro with it. Finds Zauer. Zauer turns, her shot no good. Rebounded by Storr. Storr passes up to Jones, now finding Truschel, giving it back to Storr. Substitutions for both sides waiting to check in now. 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the game as Fahey drives in on Lott. Now passing back out to Truschel, will give to Jones. Jones going to take a three. Shot no good and rebounded by Zauer. Substitution timeout called by the Pacers. On the floor now, number 14, Morgan McDermott. Number 32, Anaya Ingram. And number 15, Olivia Ellis. On the floor now for the Nighthawks, number 10, Deja Cannon, and number 15, Livy Blackstock. McDermott with it, passing to Ingram. Ingram with it, turns. Her shot on the way, no good, and rebounded by Storr. Truschel passes to Fahey. Fahey gets to the paint, kicks back out to Storr. Storr's three-pointer on the way, good for three. Number 15, Olivia Ellis, brings it across half court for the Pacers. As she drives in, her shot no good, but a foul is called on the drive. I believe they're going to call it a shooting foul. We'll send her to the line. This season from the line, Ellis shooting 50%. Ellis's first free throw, no good. Her second on the way, no good. Rebounded down low by number 10 Cannon for the Nighthawks. As the Nighthawks still looking to push the tempo here. Number 20 Jones' shot no good and rebounded by Nelson for the Pacers. Ellis with it now. 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. In the hands of Lott. Lott dribbling around. Going to take it to the basket herself. Shot no good, but a foul is called, and she'll go to the line for two. And with these free throws, Lott will be attempting her first free throws of the season for the Pacers. Lott's first free throw, no good. Lott's second is good. 1 for 2 trip. 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. As Fahey brings it across half court for the Nighthawks. Looking around, finding Storr, now in the hands of Blackstock. Blackstock finds Jones at the top. Jones looking around, drives on Ellis, picks up her dribble, kicks back out to Fahey. Fahey drives on McDermott, passing to the corner for Blackstock. Her three-pointer on the way, no good, and rebounded by Ingram for the Pacers. McDermott open in the corner, thought about a three, now passes to Ingram down low. Ingram, her shot good from the paint. 1 minute remaining in the game now. Fahey gets a screen from Cannon. Now passing back out to Storr, getting it down low to Cannon, just out of reach. It'll go out of bounds. Ball back to the Pacers. Ellis hands to Lott. Lott going to take a three. Her shot no good and rebounded on the backside by number 20 Jones for the Nighthawks. 39 seconds remaining in the game. Shot clock at 26. Fahey with it at the top, passing back to Storr. Storr will find Jones. Jones drives in, passes to Blackstock. Her three-pointer on the way, good for three. Shot clock now off, 27 seconds remaining in the game. Is Ellis going to take a three, and the bank is open and make a three. 19 seconds remaining in the game. North Georgia just has to get it across half court, and the game will come to an end. As she passes over to Storr, Nelson steals the pass and take it to the basket herself for two. And the Nighthawks are able to inbound the basketball. Pacers still playing to the final whistle. And that'll do it here from the Convocation Center. Your final score, North Georgia 82, USC Aiken 53. With the outcome of today's game, North Georgia improves to 25-2 on the year, 15-2 in Peach Belt Conference play, and 11-0 on the road. USC Aiken falls to 6-21, 3-14 in conference play, and 3-9 here at the Convocation Center. that'll about do it for us here for game one of this 2-game set. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a 30-minute break and bring you back for the start of the Nighthawks men and USC Aiken men's basketball game. Tip is set to start at 7:30. Might be a few minutes early with the conclusion of this before 7 o'clock, so do not go anywhere. Until then, I am Reeves Altman saying thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.